Welcome to the Open Distance and E-Learning Center, and today we'll be talking on data analysis. My name is Victor Chimeremeze Okoro. For our introduction, we're going to be looking at businesses and how they can thrive in this time. So for my introduction, we'll be looking at it's no surprise that businesses need to compete to gain share for their market and stay relevant. However, it may be surprising to learn that data and business analysts play in an increasingly important role in this competition. For example, how are the trends shifting? What are the new innovations for our investments? How are our customers reacting to our products? You want to be sure that your customers are reacting positively. Otherwise, you will soon go bankrupt. That is where an analyst comes into play. How can we improve the products that we've put into market? What are our forecast sales into the next quarter? These are handful questions that data analysts aim to answer using data. With Excel, SQL, majorly known as SQL, and visualization tools like Power BI, data analysts can help to make the decisions that are most impactful at improving business metrics. For the objectives, we are going to be looking at this lineup of topics. We are going to be looking at understanding data analysis process, introduction to Microsoft Excel as an advanced process, importing and cleaning data sets for analysis, data analysis with. You're going to be looking at what the with is all about. Introduction to structured query language, SQL. Data analysis 2, which is a step up to the first data analysis. Data reporting and data visualization with Excel. Introduction to Power BI desktop, handling data and modeling with Power BI. Data reporting and data visualization with Power BI. First off, we want to look at what is data analysis. We want to look at all of this. What is data analysis? Now, data analysis is the process of systematically applying statistical, logical, or computational technique to describe, summarize, and evaluate data. In short form, data analysis is simply applying statistics, logical, and to summarize data. Actually, it involves the inspecting, cleaning, transforming, and modeling of data to discover useful information and inform conclusions and support decision making. In the long run, we're going to be seeing all of this in a very practical aspect. Now, we can also look at what are the benefits of data analysis. First, it helps us to make informed decisions. Informed decision making. It helps organizations make data-driven decisions by providing actionable insights. For example, how many staffs do we need to employ, or do we need to cut down on cost in a particular area, and all of that. Efficiency improvement. This identifies areas to streamline process and reduce inefficiencies. Are there staffs that needs to leave us? And all of that. Cost saving. Okay, it optimizes resource allocation and cuts unnecessary expenses by identifying threats and inefficiency. It enhances customer experience. All right. It personalizes services, products by understanding how the customer behaves, their behavior. All right. What do they want the most? Do they end up buying this product because of this product? Because you can't, if you're selling just a table in your shop and someone else is selling a table and a chair, you discover that the person who sells a table and a chair will end up selling more because Statistics have shown that people who tend to buy tables end up buying chairs the more. So we look at risk management. You discover potential risk and opportunities, because opportunities also require risk, of course. Improving response strategies. We look at innovation. Okay, it identifies new market trends. Okay, what can we add to spice up our markets? It also enables innovation and strategic planning. Now, what is data analysis cycle? First of all, you need to collect the data. So this is the aspect where you gather relevant data and various sources. Now, this can be through survey, okay, databases, or IoT devices, Internet of Things. Now, you can gather information, all right, from various means. Now, data cleaning. First, you remove or correct inaccurate information or data, incomplete, irrelevant data, to ensure that the data quality is optimal. Secondly, or thirdly rather, data exploration. You use descriptive statistics and visualization to understand the main features and pattern in this data. All right. Now, the fourth one is data analysis and modeling. This is where you apply statistical method, machine learning or ML, and other analytical tools to extract insights. Now, what are the other analytical tools? We have the Power BI, we have the Excel, we also have Tableau. It's also part of these analytical tools. Now, we look at interpretation. You derive meaningful conclusion for data and sharing and your sharings with your shareholders or your stakeholders, so they get to understand what you're trying to, the information you're trying to pass across. All right. Now, reporting and presentation. Communication here is key. So you communicate using your dashboard, your reports, and your visualization to guide decision making. All right. Data protection laws. All right. Now, the data protection laws, this regularization governs how personal data is collected, stored, and processed to ensure privacy and security. You don't want to leave your information exposed, to either hackers or fraudulent people. So you need these laws to keep your personal information secured. Now we have bodies that helps us to, put this to work. We have the GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulations in the EU, that's European Union. They regulate the processing of personal data and ensures individual rights. We have the CCPA, California Consumers Privacy Act in the US of A. Now they grant consumers rights over their personal data. And here in Nigeria, we are not left without one. We have the NITDA. Okay, they set standards for handling personal data in Nigeria. All right. So this thing helps us to, mask the identity of the information, where the information is gotten from. This helps us protect the individuals whose privacy is on the line for releasing such information. Okay, it ensures that personal data can be traced back to the individual while it is still being useful for analysis. All right, now let's move on. Then the next thing we want to look at is types of data. Okay, now there are four basic types of data. We have the descriptive, the diagnostic analysis, we have the predictive, and we have the prescriptive analysis. Now, for the descriptive analysis, now this summarizes the past data to show what happened in the past. All right, we need to know what happened in the past, the sales trend over the last quarter. All right, because we need to know what happened in the past. We need to know our history so that we can properly look at what the future holds for us. So we need that. The next one is diagnostic analysis. It investigates why something happens. Okay, it drills down into the data to identify causes. Okay, Example, you analyze why this customer complains. What is the root of their complaint? All right, you don't want your customers, getting offended over your product. There's a saying that says customers are always right. The next one, we have the predictive analysis. It uses historical data and models to forecast the future events. For example, predicting the customer, consumption rate. Now, the last one is prescriptive analysis. It recommends actions and strategy based on data insights. For example, it suggests market strategies based on customer segmentation. All right. For example, I gave an example earlier. The customer that buys more based on the table and chair, and those that sell just chairs. All right. If you're selling a dining table, okay, and someone is just selling a chair, the dining table comes with a chair. So you end up selling more because your dining table comes with a chair than someone who just sells the dining chairs. So these are segmentations. All right. The customer that buys because of the children, the customer that buys based on the friends and all of that. Now, the next one is types of data. We have qualitative data. This is a non-numeric data. It deals with descriptions or qualities. For example, the color, the names, the label. All right. Now we have quantitative data. This talks about numeric data, and it can be divided into two aspects, which is the discrete data and the continuous data. Now, for the discrete data, we have countable data, such as the number of products sold. And continuous data looks at measurable data, such as weight, height, or time. And that brings us to the end of this segment.